Well, hello there. I am going to go through a quick demo on how to create a nightlight lithophane very easily with a tool at lithophanemaker.com. And so the first thing you do obviously is you go to lithophanemaker.com and then you click on the tool, the nightlight lithophane design tool. So you go there, and I'm going to go through all this quickly, and then I'm going to go through it all slowly a second time over so that people can duck out if they want to. But basically, you need to put the accurate dimensions for your image and for your nightlight into here. So maybe your image has a 2:1 aspect ratio. I'm going to change this so that that's automatically calculated for you, and you just give us the image and then it calculates it. But maybe your nightlight has a slot that's 15 millimeters, so you need to measure your nightlight and find what the adapter needs to look like, and maybe its thickness is 5 millimeters. All of this is in the design schematic, and you just go through and you fill all of this out, and then you pick an image that you want to turn into a lithophane, and then you just hit create STL. It has an estimated time to run, and that'll allow you to determine, what you have time for until it's done. So maybe you want to just step away for a minute, and then also if you like, you can just click this. You can just left click it, and it'll take you to Thingiverse where you can collect or like this tool so that other people find out about it. But it's probably got just a few more, 20 or 30 more seconds. However, I'll just pause it and then restart when it's done. Okay, so now it's done, and this tab brightened up for me to indicate to me that it was done. So now all I have to do is hit save, and then I go to my CAD viewer, and I actually already have it opened because I already did it once. And you can see the lithophane. It looks pretty good. This is the image that I told it to upload. It's pretty high resolution. It has the adapter that you ask it to have, so that when you print it, it should fit with your nightlight lithophane if you've measured everything correctly. And it's very easy to print vertically. It's very printable. So it's there's not much overhang. You don't need any support or anything like that. So it's ready to go, and you just put this into your slicer and then slice it up. It's that easy. So now to some other matters. Let's talk about these values a little bit more in depth. So this is the picture aspect ratio. I figure most people know what that is. It's the width of the picture divided by the height. This is the resolution of the lithophane. And what this means is, if, for example, you have a value of 0.3 here, that means that every unique height thickness, every unique thickness of this lithophane occurs 0.3 millimeters apart. So you have a unique thickness here, and then 0.3 millimeters away you have another unique thickness, and so on. So this is the resolution of the lithophane that's printed for you. If you were to take a micrometer or a CMM or something and measure the height, profilometer, you'd find unique heights every 0.3. Of course, it's a polygon, or it's made of a bunch of triangles, so there's a slope in between the unique points. But anyways, this is the resolution of the lithophane. And then here's the slot diameter. You want this to come from the nightlight you have available. Let's see if I just refresh this page. Oh, it doesn't do it for me, but basically the default settings that are in here are compatible with a nightlight that is linked to right here. So here it is. It's a 4-pack for $7.50. I've used it myself. It's warm white light. it does what you need it to do, and it's a pretty good price. I mean, I don't know, maybe it's just always on sale, but it was a good price when I bought it the first time too. Um, so then here's the image arc angle. So that's the arc of this lithophane from the center of curvature, which is actually down here. As you can see in this schematic, the center of curvature is shifted by the center of curvature shift. But so if we were to make this 180, well, this obviously shows you that the center of curvature is right here, and here's 180 degrees. If I were to make the center of curvature shift 0, then you can see that. And if it were negative, then you can do all kinds of fun things with it. But personally, I like it. I don't want my lithophane to be this curved, so I often make it a smaller arc angle. So you could even make it, 60 degrees, and then it pushes the image way out because, the center of curvature is way back here, and 60 degrees is a smaller angle. So the length of this arc is, of course, the angle in radians times the radius. So the radius has to get much larger when you make the angle smaller in order to keep the same arc length. So what you have to do if you want to use this as sort of a flatter nightlight lithophane, you need to increase the center of curvature shift, and that basically scoots the the center of curvature further backwards. So if you made it 200, it would scoot it even further backwards. And you've got this visualization here so that you can see what you're going to get before you spend the time actually producing the lithophane. And then here's the lithophane height. The lithophane height is the main sizing parameter for the lithophane surface. So if you made this super gigantic, then you can see that that slot is relatively very small. Everything's become super gigantic since the lithophane height has increased. The length of this arc has also increased, and since the image arc angle is constant, that means the radius has increased quite a bit. So you'd probably want to shift some more with this, or just not make an absurdly large nightlight lithophane, because what is this? This is 20 inches tall. Yeah, nobody's going to want that. I mean, that's like in danger of falling on somebody and hurting them. Okay, so then you have the estimated run time. Right now I have a low-cost server because all of this is free, and I plan to keep it free forever. So I have a low-cost server. I'm thinking about making a Patreon page. I haven't gotten around to doing it yet, but basically if I get a good server, I could cut this runtime to probably about 2 or 3 seconds. So, not even worth switching tasks to something else. It'd be that short, and I might even be able to cut it lower than that, but we'll see. And then here's the estimated file size. So you want to keep track of this because the file can become very cumbersome in Cura, and depending on your own computer's computational abilities, you might not want this to become in the hundreds of megabytes, which is not very hard if you increase the resolution, or make the resolution finer by decreasing the spacing between unique values. You greatly increase the run size, the file size. The file size is inversely proportional to the square of the resolution. So if you were to, say, double the resolution, then the file size would cut into a quarter. And if you're to have the resolution to make it even a finer resolution, then the file size would increase 4x of what it is. So same thing with height, because height controls the the dimension in this way, as well as the length of the arc. It increases the area. So this is actually proportional to area since it controls the other length for the surface of the lithophane. So when you increase this, when you double this, you quadruple the size of the file, because the file size is dependent upon the number of unique data points. It's the same with the runtime. Both of those are dependent on the number of unique data points. So then down here I have a very brief set of instructions, and in the blog I have very detailed instructions as well as some features that I added. So here are instructions for all of them. This is the Nightlight Lithophane tool instruction post. And then of course I get a lot of really good feedback from the users of this tool, and I've incorporated a lot of it. And they've also found some bugs, which I think I'm through all those bugs. But of course, as I make changes to add new features to these tools, new bugs might crop up. So who knows? But anyways, I'm on top of it, so I will keep the bugs to a minimum. Unlike other tools out there that just sort of sit there and slowly become deprecated. Unfortunately, part of the reason why I decided to do this. I'm a hobbyist coder as well as a hobbyist 3D printer. So anyways, if you have any ideas for improvements or you find any bugs, please email me at support@lithophanemaker.com. I'm in correspondence with several people. Currently, I don't have any open issues, but I do talk with people, and I'm happy to help. So with all that said, thank you for your time. I hope you enjoy the tool. If you like it, please go to my Thingiverse page, which you can find by going to any of the tools and clicking on this design, and then please like and collect. And if you want to get updates from me, then there is an option to follow me as well. I think you have to go to my profile and then follow, but I'm seeing my profile from my perspective, so that doesn't work. But anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed the quick tutorial video, and have a good one.